Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Xilinx Adapt 5G. We've got an exciting discussion for you this morning. You've likely heard of Facebook, which aims to help mobile operators connect to more people and upgrade their networks to support the ever-increasing demands for data. Facebook has already partnered with over 500 global technology and telecom leaders to design, build, and deploy new technologies in this space. Today, we're here with two people from Facebook to talk about the radio access part of the network and how Xilinx figures into that. Under a project Facebook is calling Evenstar. I'm very happy to introduce Renuka Balarao, Connectivity and Ecosystems Manager, and Faisal Watu, Product Manager, both from the Evenstar program at Facebook. Welcome, both of you, to Xilinx Adapt 5G.
Thank you, Safi.
Thanks. Thanks for being here. So what is Evenstar? What is the overall objective of this program? What is the value proposition, and why is Facebook engaged in this type of project right now?
Evenstar is a program within Facebook connectivity with a goal to accelerate Open RAN adoption with product innovations and development. As part of Evenstar, we create unified platform architectures for Open RAN family of products, and then we support our partners to build commercial products based on those and take those to market. We believe that Evenstar is adding value to Open RAN ecosystem in many different ways, and I'll share a few examples with you. First, through unified platform architectures widely adopted by Open RAN supply chain ecosystem, we are able to create economies of scale both at product and component level, leading to lower cost. Secondly, through Evenstar, we are able to create this co-innovation environment where we take hardware R&D pains away from our OEM partners and let them focus more on software development and differentiation, which gives them more strength to be more competitive in Open RAN landscape. Third, through Evenstar, we are not only looking at near-term Open RAN adoption and product development, but also we are keeping a close eye on long-term competitiveness of Open RAN through new technologies such as massive MIMO, 5G, and merchant silicon. Last but not least, we are also supporting our partners on interop activities, giving more credibility to their solutions, which is a big pain point in MNO's mind as it comes to Open RAN adoption. At Facebook, we feel that everyone in the world has right to be connected to their community and benefit from the improvements which connectivity brings to one's life as it relates to business, health, and education. So in that sense, Evenstar's mission is completely aligned with Facebook mission of connecting more people to faster internet.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. Thank you. So for something like this, there must be a large number of SKUs, products, bands. What are you guys' plans in terms of what's happening now? What are the long-term thoughts on what types of products you guys will be developing?
Yes, so we have a phased approach for Evenstar product development. Initially, we are focused on RRU and DU products for 2021 commercial deployments. For RRU, we have focused on 5 different variants, initially focusing on single band and dual band SKUs to be deployed in Europe, Asia, Africa, and other regions. And then on the DU side as well, initially we are focusing on edge case deployment use case to be addressed in various of these markets, but we are also looking at edge cloud-based DU products in mid to long term. So this is about near term to mid term product adoption and scaling, but we are also looking at expanding the Evenstar roadmap with massive MIMO and 5G products late in 2021 and 2022 onwards. So that's the kind of phased approach we have. Initially go after these markets which have the immediate need, and then expand the roadmap to address wider opportunity in cellular for Open RAN.
Yeah, okay, thank you. So maybe you can talk a little bit about how Xilinx and Facebook are partnering on this Evenstar program. There's lots of different pieces here, but we want to understand, why did you guys select Xilinx? What pushed you to make us your exclusive provider for these products? And maybe Renuka, you could jump in on this one.
Sure, Safi. So Xilinx is a strategic partner when it comes to the ecosystem that we are building for Evenstar. And with a long history that Xilinx has supplying products into this RAN space, they're a natural choice here in terms of collaborating and building new solutions. So the FPC engineering team, the OEMs, ODM partners, they have been working closely with Xilinx to build the initial solutions. These are based on our MPSOC and the RFSOC platforms, and we look at them as having good advantage in terms of power and cost and in terms of overall integration. The initial solutions are being built, as Faisal said, for the RRU SKUs. We are also looking forward to enhancing and bringing in the RFSOC, the digital front end that will be relevant for the 5G market as we go into the next stage of the program. So yes, it's a close collaboration. Looking forward to continuing it.
That's great. Thank you. Yeah, we're also very excited about the RFSOC DFE that was just announced. So we appreciate that. Thank you guys for collaborating with us. On a program like this, where the rubber meets the road in the end is the end customers. How is this being deployed? Who is going to be using these products? So maybe you can comment a little bit on which mobile network operators are collaborating on Evenstar.
Sure. So when it comes to the operator front, we are seeing large interest in the program and the approach and the model we have for Evenstar from all the regions. I mean, I can say Europe and APAC, to name the few. And what stands out is some of the operators like Vodafone taking the lead in terms of working right through the initial requirements to the roadmap strategy for the program and all the way up to how do we go to market for this new innovative model that eventually accelerates Open RAN adoption. So that's Vodafone. There is also another big operator we can name, and it's Airtel in APAC. As they go for their capacity and densification through LTE, they're considering Evenstar as a key solution for their Open RAN deployments. So yes, these two leading the train, but at the same time, we are seeing also a lot of effort in terms of lab trials, and these lab trials will be done again across the regions over open interfaces and will lead to the field trial and eventually deployments of the radio and the DU unit for Evenstar.
Makes sense. That's great. Thanks for that, Renuka. So to do a project like this probably takes a large ecosystem, and we talked about that a little bit earlier, but maybe you can elaborate a little bit more on what kind of ecosystem is Facebook putting together? Who are the other participants, and how are they contributing to the overall program?
Evenstar eventually is a collaborative effort. So it's a collaborative forum where we have multiple Open RAN ecosystem partners working together to bring the solutions. To name a few, we have today participation from OEMs and ODMs and also CMs. Mavenir, Parallel, Altiostar, these are the known players in the Open RAN ecosystem. They are participating here, bringing in their software and other expertise. We do have ODMs, and that includes the likes of MTIs, ACE, Bicels, and then eventually the contract manufacturers who will be building the products and sending those to the MNOs for deploying. So it's a great mission. In fact, now is the right time to expand it even further, open it up for new partners, bring them along, and it's going to be pivotal to how this program is going to change Open RAN deployments overall.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. I think so that all makes sense. So you've got the operators, you've got a large ecosystem, you've selected a silicon partner in Xilinx. What's next for Evenstar? What are you guys' plans for the future?
Yeah, so I can address that question. Basically, in 2021, we are really looking for Evenstar to enable Open RAN adoption and scale. We believe that operators will be able to experience firsthand the benefits of Open RAN through these deployments, and that is going to strengthen the supply chain and ecosystem of Open RAN. So this is what really we are looking for in near term 2021. And then beyond, we want to expand the roadmap of Evenstar to make sure that Open RAN remains competitive in long term as well and continue to provide value to operators.
Thanks, Faisal. Okay, well, I want to thank you guys both for joining us here at Xilinx Adapt 5G. Really appreciate your time, appreciated the feedback, and thank you for your partnership with Xilinx.
The world is constantly changing, driving continuous innovation from the cloud to the edge. Data growth is relentless, and ever-changing market dynamics are making it harder to get your products launched ahead of the competition. You need Xilinx. Today's applications demand a new approach to computing, one that seamlessly adapts to your constantly changing environment and handles complexity with ease. That's our adaptive platform, and it's redefining the way the world thinks about accelerated workloads. Xilinx delivers the powerful tools you need to build the adaptable, intelligent world today, and the flexibility to adapt to whatever the future may bring. Don't just imagine the future, create it with Xilinx, because a better world can't wait. Xilinx, building the adaptable, intelligent world.
Hi, my name is Mikael Rylander, and I'm heading up the business unit Radio Access in Mavenir. Who are Mavenir then? Well, we are a company that's been around for quite some time. We have virtualized the whole telco stack. So that means messaging, core network, and now RAN. We are doing business with more than 250 mobile operators. And of the top 10 operators, we are doing business with 9. Myself, I also have a long history with Xilinx. It started for more than 20 years ago when I was leading an R&D entity in a huge infrastructure company for mobile broadband. I was responsible for the uplink, and I chose Xilinx back then as the provider for the first commercial 3G base station. Xilinx back then was a fairly small and young company, and to the day I regret I didn't buy shares in you. So what is Open RAN? That's the game that we're playing here. It's about virtualization. So the RAN application needs to be virtualized. It needs to be based on open interfaces, and it needs to be based on commercially available hardware. So what are we doing? We're actually leveraging the huge innovation and investments that are made in the cloud space and the artificial intelligence space today. It's all about the technology shift, and we have passed the inflection point. There's a lot of myths around Open RAN, and one of them is that you cannot make high-performing products. You can do that already today. You can build radios for small cells, you can build radios for massive MIMO, millimeter wave, and high-performing traditional macro radios. So what has happened? What does the Open RAN give you? An open interface between the baseband and the radio unit. So this means that innovation and business can be done in both of these units. The walled garden is gone, it's open. I will talk more about the market a little bit later. So this new market, what does it consist of? Well, on the server side, there is room for innovation and products, both in the public cloud, in data centers, and at the sites. Again, in the RRU, for high-performing semiconductors and innovation, it is obvious that it's millimeter wave and massive MIMO. But do not forget multi-band macro radios. When you put more bands together, you will also reach gigabits of data. So multi-band, massive MIMO, millimeter wave is where the future are in this business on the radio side. So one of those examples is millimeter wave radio. And we were looking at that market, and we couldn't find a high-performing millimeter wave radio to a good price. So we decided to develop our own, and we chose Xilinx. Why did we choose Xilinx? because of the technology that gives us high performance products, but also, very important, a very good price in high volume. Those two ingredients is key because this market is all about economy of scale. So how is it then going? Well, as in any high-tech project, we have had some bumps in the road, but we have had excellent support from Xilinx. I must stress that. We are still tracking to the time plan, and we will start hanging radio now in December. So it's fantastic, it feels great. So how to win then in Open RAN? Is there a difference now when the interface is open? Yes, there are some business differences. The environment is now much, much more collaborative than in the walled garden. Innovation is increasing rapidly. So Xilinx, you need to support Open RAN. You need to support all these companies that are emerging now that will innovate and make products for Open RAN. What about the market then? Well, analysts now come out and say that in 4 to 5 years' time, 30% of new boxes, basebands and RUs out of the factories will be Open RAN based. That means 2 to 3 million boxes. And that's just the start. This is a technology shift. That market share will increase year over year. So right now we are collaborating in the ecosystem with 11 RRU companies that develops Open RAN RRUs for the macro markets. And out of those 11, 9 have chosen Xilinx. So you're off to a great start. Thank you.